Today it's player Crosby from the Brunswick School headed out to Coastal Carolina, joining us for an edition of my one of one Emery, and he's got a unique Emery story, almost as unique as his name and almost as unique as his pitching arsenal, which he showed the world at the VeloU Main Event back in February. That's where we first got to meet player. That's where he first got to meet the founder, Kevin Schneider. And welcome, player, and thanks for dropping by.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Always. So let's so tell us about your Emery story, because you guys kind of found each other at pretty much the same time at VeloU when you stole the show. For anybody who saw the mic'd up footage, anybody who saw what you did pitching wise, making some of the best hitters in the region, in the country, look silly. How did you tell us about your Emery story?
Right. So obviously I'm teammates with Boston. I go to school with him. And he's been with you guys for a little bit. So he's been repping that all blue glove. And I've always seen it. I mean, I had a pretty terrible glove before, and I thought that glove that he was wearing was awesome. So I didn't think I had what it take to reach out to you guys and, see if I can, I don't know, get a glove or whatever. So I realized I saw that you guys were going to be at the event, and I was like, all right. And still, I didn't know if I was going to go up to you guys or not talk about the glove, but me and Cropper threw, and me and him went up to Kev right before I started warming up to get loose to go out there. And he had a bunch of gloves on display, and then he pulled out this thing, which was under the table. And I was like, geez, I've never seen something like that before. And he told us how he hand painted it, and it's water resistant, like all the goods that a glove needs. And one thing led to another. I don't remember exactly what was said, but he asked if I wanted to throw with it that day, and I was like, of course, yeah, I'll try it out. And it was a whole new thing without because I'm a guy where my old glove, I had my pointer finger out, and I actually went 3 in the pinky in my old glove, which was I used to play outfield. Like that was my main position before I started pitching, and then once I started pitching, I stayed with the three in the pinky. It just felt comfortable. And this glove was a little tighter than my other glove, so I am 2 in the pinky on this one, and then obviously there's no hole for my finger, so that was new, but I liked it a lot. It felt different. I pitched with it. I thought I pitched pretty well, and I had a little drip to go along with it because the thing is sick, and it's awesome.
What was it like that day, just kind of with the adrenaline going, and the going against these guys who were all Americans and all that stuff? What was it like for you, to kind of prove yourself there?
Right, yeah. So I think a big thing that kind of messed me up was that I got hurt last year, so I missed all of the area codes, East Coast Pros, all that. So I've been a big under the radar guy. And the thing that I was thinking of going into this was these guys are all top ranked. They know each other. Boston knows what pitch Sammy likes. Sammy knows what pitch Chandler's going to throw. No one knows who I am. So, I mean, I obviously I'm friendly with all of them. I know who they are, but they haven't seen me really pitch live because I never got the chance to go to the area code games or whatnot. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I know I have good stuff, and I just have to trust myself. I don't care who I'm facing. I'll throw against anybody. If it comes to hitting, like, not gonna lie, like if that day against Salisbury when Quincy's throwing, I hit lefty, I'm not looking forward to that. But pitching wise, I'll throw against any single person that steps in the box. I go at it with an attitude of I'm better than you, no matter who you are. I don't care about what you've done in the past. It's what you're doing right now. And um, that's kind of what I said on the mic when Sammy was the first kid to step in. I was like, this kid's ranked like one in the country or whatever. And I was like, if I
Right.
shoot him out, it looks really good on me, really bad on him. And then, yeah, actually, that I earned the glove on one of the pitches I threw that at bat. So,
Yeah, I mean, your stuff that, everybody, it's like sword inducing stuff, maybe you're not throwing 100, not that 90 to 92 is soft by any stretch. It's the movement, right? And the angles and the late movement, the 24 inches a run one way with the sinking fastball and then the slider. Have you always been able to spin it and make it move like that? How did that even happen?
yeah, I mean, I've always really been like a two seam sinker guy. Like I remember I used to always just cut. I never got a good feel on the four seam. So I stopped throwing that. Um, and I started coming to Velo in September. So prior to this, like I knew my stuff moved a lot. Um, but then once I started getting into TrackMan and all that stuff, I had no idea what the stuff was telling me. Like I was throwing it and they were like, "Holy shit, that's really good," and I was like, I have no idea what it is." Um, but then I started to like understand, and you could see that my sliders like averaging like 20 inches horizontal. Um, and my sinker is the same way, and I got up to like 24 inches on one of my sliders. So obviously I know that's my stuff is moving well. I like having the TrackMan there a lot because it tells me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and how I can fix it. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, I think I've always been a east to west type of guy. Never
Definitely.
really just been, or west to east. I've never really just been throw it down the middle, blow it by you. I'm kind of like a junk thrower type of guy. Um,
Junk
uh,
throwers don't throw in the 90s. I don't care what you're saying here, but you
yeah,
know,
but I I think I can. I, I think my plus pitch is my slider, and then I like that I have the sinker to go to, and I can throw it for a strike when I want. That's my 3-0 pitch.
get as many swords as you can. What's the
Right.
best what's the best one you remember?
Um, all right, Sammy one was pretty good. I threw one. I threw one 2 summers ago. I remember it was it was at Lake Point, that tournament. It was offsite camp or offsite field though. Um and Coastal was actually watching me. Like it was after I committed, but they were there. Um and I don't remember who it was against, but I threw a slider and the kid literally fell down like on his back and it came back and was a strike. And I like looked at the dugout and I looked at my dugout and I kind of just like cracked a smile. I kind of react. I don't really I feel like if I can back up my stuff on the mound, I don't have to like keep my composure and I look and I smile and whatever. Um and then struck the kid out. So
Tell us about that, the comeback and just how glad you are to be back on the mound 100% and dealing right now.
yeah, right. So last February I had surgery on the back of my elbow. It was a bone spur removal. Not a big thing, but um I took my time with my recovery. I knew that if I rushed into it, try to get back on the mound like end of the season or early summer, uh, I don't know what would have happened. So I took my time. I took PT very serious. I stayed in the weight room. I mean I think I took like 4 days off after surgery, and then I started hitting legs right away with a sling on. I have videos from my old gym of me like reverse lunging with like one hand here, hip thrusting with my hand like this. Um, I just put my head down like I did prior to me having surgery, and I went to work. And it took a little time, but I got back on the mound in the middle of the summer, and then I started to throw I had about like 4 appearances this fall. A couple. Oh, my dog's in the back.
Yeah,
A
that's right.
couple like local Staten Island, Long Island tournaments, and then I went down to Jupiter. Felt amazing the whole fall. And then as soon as Jupiter was, or actually I went to VeloU like a couple weeks prior to Jupiter, but then I worked with Nick Serio, who's like the head over at Velo. They had their strength and conditioning guys are top to none. And so I've just been there. My arm used to hurt a little bit like when I threw prior to going there. They looked in my stuff, they fixed my mechanics. I was throwing completely the wrong way. And now ever since I've been there, my arms felt great and I'm ready to go into the season. I've already thrown live at bats like probably 5 times. I think I've given up 1 hit so far to Jerry Guzman, Adonis Guzman's little brother. He got me a little line drive up the middle, but
I don't know if Jerry's any good or not because I don't know him, but I got to imagine the
legit.
bloodlines matter a little bit, you know?
Yeah, he's very good. I think he needs a lot more looks. People were so invested in his brother, but they're forgetting about him. He's very good.
What grade's he?
Junior.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is a big year then, obviously, and gonna be a lot of eyes on Brunswick School anyway.
He's probably our best bat right now, and I
Nice.
don't hesitate saying that at all. He's definitely our best bat, probably.
Coastal. Got to be exciting now that we're getting within a couple months away from leaving for college. But what made them stand out to you?
I can't. I've wanted to go there. I feel like the school is just made for me in a way. I feel like it's perfect for me. Coaches Gilmore is like nationally known. He's like practically famous. I remember on our official visit, which was a couple weeks ago, we had a breakfast with the team or with the recruits, the families, and all the coaches. And Gilmore just like walked past us, and we all were like staring at him like it was a celebrity. He's just I'm so excited to play under his belt. And Coach Schnall, I've been talking to ever since I committed. I talked to a pitching coach who I committed with him, and then he ended up leaving. But our new pitching coach, Jason Beverlin, is awesome. He's a great guy. I love talking to him. He knows what he's doing. He was in the pros. I'm really excited. I'm headed down there July 9th, which is the day of the draft, which is kind of annoying. I don't get to go to some of the draft parties I'm invited to. But I was
gonna say there could be some draft parties that you're invited to that you're gonna miss now.
Or hopefully I have a good year and maybe I have my own.
Have your own. That's right. That's right.
I'm stoked. I've wanted to go there all along. The weather, I'm tired of this weather up here. It's too cold.
Myrtle Beach isn't bad, right?
It's not bad at all. The facilities are great. It's definitely a program I want to play for.
Sure, and you're honorary New Jersey too, with going down with Landon Edwards next year. Sam Winsett, Jackson Appleman coming.
Fluky.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, Fluky's not going.
Might be one of those draft parties you get invited
to. I think Fluky, if he comes, he'll come down July 11th or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So you're honorary Jersey now. I mean, right? That's a pretty good group.
Yeah. Me and Windsor have played together for like 3 or 4 years now.
So that's what's summer?
Elite squad. So
right.
I remember he actually, when he committed before I did. I was the first 2023 commit, and he was the first 2024 first commit.
Yeah, like he was one of those early 9th grade.
Yeah, and that was when I first started my recruitment process. I was like 80 to 83 or whatever. I was talking to lower D1 schools up here, and then he committed there, and I was like, ooh, like I want to get to that. So, I put my head down. I worked. I got up to like 88, started talking to bigger schools. I hired my recruiting coordinator, Josh Rudd, who helped me
Mm-hmm.
so much. He helped me through everything, my family. Um, and they got me on the phone with Cole. So I started talking to them. And you could ask Rudd if you ever talked to him, how many times I would ask about Coastal. I would get off the phone with another school, and Rudd would ask me how it went, and I'd be like, "It was good, but what about Coastal?" And then I remember it was prime COVID, so it was like, and I kept asking him. I was like, "What about Coastal?" He was like, "Let me give it to you straight. They like you a lot, but they're probably gonna want to see you in person." And I still threw, I was sending film out like every day. And I remember Super Bowl Sunday, 2021, I think it was. Um, coach called me, or coach told my recruiting coordinator for me to call him because they couldn't call me at the time. And I called him. It was an interesting call. It was more just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for the Super Bowl? Like, what are you eating? And then there was like a moment of silence, and he was like, well, basically, we're ready to offer you. And then they offered, and I kind of went upstairs. I'm at my dad's house right now, but I was sitting right here. And I go upstairs, my dad's there, my aunt was there at the time, and I was like, Coastal just offered me, like, I'm like, I never, the idea of me committing to a D1 school was never like something that crossed my mind. That was just like something that was so surreal. And I went up there, I was like, dude, like, I want it. Like, I think I'm gonna do this. And then I called Rudd, and he was like, wow, like, that's incredible. I talked to my mom. And yeah, I think I got offered on the 7th, and I committed on the 9th, something like that.
You didn't commit just right on the phone, like instantly. It seems like,
Uh, I
or
was
did you have to wait 2 days to make sure it was for real?
Yeah, I had to take some time. I think I accidentally dropped a curse word on the phone. I think
No shit.
he offered, and like I paused for a second. I was like, "Hold," he's like, "You there?" I was like, "Holy shit," or something like that. Um, I don't know. Yeah, that was incredible. I don't think I slept then. I didn't tell anybody. I went to one of my buddy's house to watch the Super Bowl, and they were like, "Why are you so like happy?" I was like, "Oh,
No, nothing. No, it's just good game.
yeah, just excited.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Something happened."